This episode of the Two Droids podcast is proudly brought to you by Who Clothing.
Two droids and no questions asked.
Hello and welcome to the Two Droids No Questions Asked podcast, your one-stop shop for all the latest pop culture, movie, TV and comic book news. I am today joined, of course, by my ever-faithful co-host, Simo. How you doing?
I said hello way too quick then, but yeah, I'm good.
Oh, don't worry.
This is the second time we've done this in person,
Mm.
but the first time it's getting published in person.
Yes.
So this is exciting. We're in the same room right now.
Yeah.
Makes
a change, huh?
We've literally just got back from the cinema as well.
Yeah, this is
fresh.
Yeah, could not be fresher.
No.
Now, on this week's show, we're going to be reviewing and discussing the latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Last episode we did a big scoop, if you will, on the MCU. If you haven't listened, go back and check it out. Keep up to date with all the news. But today we're going to be discussing the Marvels. We're going to do both a spoiler-free and a spoiler discussion. So if you haven't seen it and you want to go in blind, make sure you listen out for the big spoiler warning. You'll know it when you hear it. Oh yeah.
We'll probably make it ourselves, maybe.
Yeah, we normally do.
Yeah, normally.
At this point.
Voice.
Yeah. Before that, however, as always, we're going to dive into the latest news and trailers of the week, starting with your nerdy news bulletin, hot off the press from the Weekly Bugle. Ooh. There's been 2 deliveries this week of hot, fresh news.
We've got some hot, fresh ones, and it looks quite positive news.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
Yeah, for a change.
Yeah.
We've not had huge amounts of positive news on this show yet.
No deaths.
No deaths.
No deaths.
But yeah, it's been a good week, I think.
It doesn't seem as daunting as last week's news. Last week's news was
bleak.
It was bleak. It was
very bleak.
End of Marvel.
Yeah.
Well,
and AR is gonna ruin Hollywood.
Yeah, we'll maybe talk about a movie that was Marvel and actually spoke about AI.
Yeah, potentially we will. But
we're gonna.
Yeah, well,
we're gonna.
Spoilers, Simo. Before that, though, let's dive straight into the news of the week. Are you ready, Simo?
I'm ready for some
Are you
news.
sure?
I am. I'm
well,
I'm roaring to go.
Sound the good news alarm. We have good news. Whoa.
Sorry, that wasn't me. That was the good news.
That was the alarm. Wow. Wait, I didn't press that button, did you?
Speak and they shall come.
Yeah, apparently so. Well, there you go. That's canon now. That's the good news alarm. But the good news that has come out this week is obviously that the SAG-AFRA strike has come to an end.
Woo!
Thank God.
Yeah!
Wow. I've never seen you more passionate, Simmer.
It was the way it was broken to me, if I've been honest, that made me so passionate. It was
really?
Kevin Bacon dancing in his little barn.
True. Very true. But yeah, this week at 12:01 on Thursday, following a unanimous approval from the union's negotiating committee, SAG-AFRA negotiators approved a tentative agreement, but for now, ending the longest-running actors' strike in Hollywood history. 118 days.
108? Is that how long it's been?
Yeah.
It feels so much longer than that.
I'm going to say it feels like 3 years at this point.
Oh my God.
But obviously fantastic news that the strike has come to an end with what sounds like a deal that works for everyone. It's a historic pay deal. Most minimums are going to be rising by 7%, which is a lot more in terms of a percentage increase than the writers got.
Yeah.
But this sort of entire contract is valued at over $1 billion. It's got first ever protections against AI, which again we covered last week. Go back and listen to that. What they've called a streaming participation bonus, which I think is going to be residuals for streaming, that sort of thing. Pension and health contributions as well. So it sounds pretty positive.
It does sound pretty
this
positive.
deal.
The AI, I think that's important. The protection against AI, that's and the streaming participation bonus.
Yeah.
I'm really happy they brought that in. But is there going to be stuff to do with numbers involved in that, or is it just if they're on streaming, they're going to get more money?
Yeah, I imagine it is. They haven't actually come out yet and said specifically how it's going to work.
Okay.
I think it'll be sort of royalty based.
Yeah.
So for the percentage of whatever that generates, I think will now go to the actors.
Similar to like how TV used to work.
Yeah. It was literally they just sort of, big cinema saw a gap and jumped on it. But yeah, I mean, hopefully now that this is done, it's not going to have a huge impact on what's coming out. I think TV more so than cinema releases over the next year. Obviously dealing with smaller budgets, they can't bounce back as easy. And then there'll be a few delays going into summer next year for that sort of release window.
I think we was all expecting that though, weren't we?
Yeah.
We were expecting something similar to like 2007 where things were delayed. And,
but no leaks this time, thank God.
No.
But some of the movies that are potentially going to be impacted, some of these have been pushed back already.
Some of them I'm glad that have been pushed back.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Venom 3.
Glad that one's pushed back.
Yeah, mad that we've got 3 Venom movies in this short space of time.
Yeah.
Is crazy. Deadpool 3 is another. Furiosa, the Mad Max Fury Road spin-off.
I'm excited for that.
Although
I enjoyed that movie.
I feel like that's been in development for like 10 years at this point.
I thought it was just a rumour, from being honest.
It's been a long time in development.
Yeah.
Twisters, which is a remake of the 70s movie that follows a tornado.
Didn't they already make a remake of that in the 2000s or the 90s?
I think so.
I swear there was a Twister. Yeah, there was
everyone gets a remake nowadays.
There was. It was actually pretty good. I remember it was. Yeah, I swear it was Twister.
It might very well have been.
Yeah, it's really good.
Gladiator 2 is another one. Wicked, which is a cinematic adaptation of the musical. That's been pushed back. And also Wicked 2. So they've started production on the sequel before the first one is even fully produced at this point. And then also the now unnamed Mission Impossible 8 movie. But Tom Cruise will bounce back, he always does.
I mean, he's a savior of cinema, he's always going to have a second coming, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
With Wicked, it's an adaptation of the play, so that's full circle then.
A musical, Simo, not a play.
Oh yeah, that's the one. It's come full circle.
It has.
Because it was, obviously they were all come from the movie. Or was that wasn't based off of something previous, was it?
Well, it's the story of the witch from...
from the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
but was that based off of like a book before it was...
Oh, there's probably a Wizard of Oz book, I imagine. You'd think so. Anyway. But yeah, so we're probably going to be seeing these movies pushed back. Let's say if most of them already have had it confirmed that they've gone back anyway.
With Mission Impossible 8, I swear that was pretty much done. Like that was like filmed. Like I swear most of that was done. So I'm surprised that was being pushed back.
But
if I'm being honest.
Also, Tom Cruise will want IMAX, won't he? So he'd probably have to fight out everything else.
Not happy after the Barbenheimer incident.
No, definitely not.
Wiped him off the floor after a week.
Yeah.
Very good movie though, but yeah.
Yeah. And then there's been obviously lots of reactions to the strike ending. You mentioned previously Kevin Bacon.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Not Kevin De Bruyne, no. Two very different people.
I'd like a movie with that. Maybe Kevin Bacon plays Kevin De Bruyne in a movie.
Ted Lasso would have been the perfect show to do it in. But Ted Lasso's finished now. But yeah, he hopped on TikTok and Instagram and broke out his dancing shoes.
Little dancey dance. That's the first thing I saw to say that it ended, and I was quite happy with the fact that was the way I was told.
Yeah, he dusted off his dancing shoes and just got loose to Footloose.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
He did.
There's been Timothée Chalamet, who at time of recording is going to be hosting SNL this week. In the promo for that, he made a little joke where he said, "I've just found out the actors' strike is over. I can now promote my movie." And then this is an actual quote straight from the mouth of Timothée Chalamet. He said, "I can now promote my movie. Wonka, 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 Chocolate Man, Wonka, Chocolate."
See, now I don't know if that's the correct quote, because on the quote that I can see in front of me it says Wonka, 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 Chocolate Wonka.
No, that's actually a mistake. It is Chocolate Man.
Well, maybe you should be more clear in your little quotes.
I have the evidence to prove it. Also, the cast of the upcoming wrestling movie Iron Claw all had the news broken to them on the red carpet. So Jeremy Allen White, Zac-Efron and Harrison Dickinson all found out at the premiere and were obviously all ecstatic.
Wait, is that out?
It comes out in a couple of weeks.
I'm looking forward to that movie, actually. I think it looks really good.
It will be good. We've got some quotes here from some other actors who've taken to social media to express how happy they are that the strike is over. Simu Liu of Shang-Chi and Barbie fame says, "The strike is over. I am proud of SAG for continuing to fight for the livelihood of every actor. As someone who used to live below the poverty line, hold ass to auditions and struggle to live, I have experienced firsthand how these things matter. Bravo and see you on set. Octavia Spencer also took to Twitter and said, ready to work now that the strike is over. Congratulations and thank you to our at SAG-AFRA negotiating committee. Proud to stand in solidarity with all SAG members over the last 118 days. Other reactions we've seen online, Jamie Lee Curtis, George Clooney, Jessica Chastain and Mark Ruffalo have all taken to social media to express their praise.
I'm going to say we could probably go on for days talking about reactions from this, because every single actor and actress is going to be all over social media posted about it, because this is the first time they're able to talk about any upcoming movies, stuff like that. I mean,
bar the scabs.
Yeah, did anything come from Matthew Lillard?
Every time.
Just noticed I said his name wrong every time on the episode of the Five Nights at Freddy one that we did.
Yeah, the Five Nights at Freddy's review, and Simo for the whole thing referred to Matthew Lillard as Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard.
I've never wanted to just jump out of a window editing that podcast.
I mean, you could have, when we was recording, you could have mentioned that I mentioned his name wrong.
You should know these things, Simone.
I should, but I didn't click on.
We're titans of industry now.
I don't care.
We should,
But because he came out, didn't he? And he was like, "Oh, thank you for going to see my movie," and all that. I'm not sure if this is breaking strike rules or anything like that. I haven't seen anything negative come from that, so I'm assuming it wasn't classed as breaking the strike rules. But also, it doesn't fucking matter now, does it?
No, I think it was not promoting per se. And he's had a nice big spread on the Hollywood Reporter this morning. So glad to see he's back in the people's good graces.
It seems to be there's quite a lot at the moment of actors from definitely from when
early
we were
2000s
kids. That
actors
that got so much hate back then that now our generation of growing up are
coming back.
And to be fair, I don't know if he didn't really get any hate for Scooby Doo or anything like that.
No, I think he probably just sort of got typecast. In everything. But obviously you've had Brendan Fraser, probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen
massive
in Star Wars. There's been a lot.
Glad there's positivity.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad to see it. Anyway, elsewhere in the news, Anthony Daniels of Star Wars fame, obviously famous for playing C-3PO as often as he possibly can.
I swear, was he in the Force Awakens? Oh no, he was. Sorry,
he was.
I just didn't recognise him because he had a red arm.
Oh, that'll be it. That'll be the reason why you didn't recognise him. But Anthony Daniels is in the news this week. He's selling off loads of items from his personal Star Wars memorabilia collection.
I saw this.
So he's partnering with UK auctioneer Prop Store to auction nearly 200 items from his personal collection.
200 items?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Jesus Christ. Are they all just C-3PO parts?
Oh, I'm sure it will be, yeah. But, this is the bolt that was used to attach the right lower arm plate. But as part of this collection, it includes his iconic gold C-3PO helmet that he wore during the filming of 1977's A New Hope, which is estimated to fetch over $1.22 million at auction.
Have you seen what the name of the auction is going to be?
I haven't, I don't think.
Blue Harvest.
Wow. Is that because...
It's not really.
Is that because of the reason, obviously the famous Blue Harvest story, that Star Wars was referred to as Blue Harvest in sort of pre-production?
That's exactly the reason
why.
Why.
That makes sense. But
it's a load of shit. I was making a Blue Harvest reference.
Yeah, I think they've got that one somehow. But obviously some reasons that he's selling. He just thinks it's the right time. It's part of his collection. It says the items are not unloved, but not as frequently looked at in his home. Despite having the opportunity to add to his collection after the production of Rise of Skywalker in 2019, Daniels declined, citing that he already had enough memorabilia. Yeah, true. Over 200 items.
That makes, I mean, at what point did he then realise that he had too many items? Or was it at 200 he was like, that's it, I'm out of the game now?
Yeah,
or do you
maybe
reckon,
that's
like, after like 2, he's like, come on, man. House is getting a bit full of C-3PO now.
I wonder, like, if he's just done his spring clean.
Yeah.
And it's like taking 200 items off a shelf to dust it and then put them all back on again.
His wife's just like, you need to get rid of those fucking C-3PO things.
Yeah, this is done.
Just like a basement full of just 200 C-3POs.
Yeah. I also wonder if maybe he wanted it all so he could prove that it was him many moons ago.
Yeah, I get
so
it.
You can't see his face. So I wonder if maybe it was a bit of that, and now it's, everyone knows who you are. Anthony Daniels, you can let it go.
Is any of this going to charity?
I don't think so. I think it's his personal.
Yeah, when he was saying like the reasons for why he's selling it, money.
Yeah,
this is probably what I'd go
a
to.
big one.
When the helmet's selling for 122 million.
No, 1.2.
Yeah, that's the one. Well,
$1.2 million.
Jesus
This is painful. Gosh. Yeah. We'll move on. Good luck, Anthony Daniels.
With all your money.
But you do know you pay less tax on assets than you do cash. Anyway, next in the news, Jared Leto has made the news this week for doing a Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I saw this.
And by doing a Tom Cruise, that doesn't mean making a good movie. That means trying to kill himself in the most elaborate way possible.
This article and this news story stood out to me for a second until I then read into it, and then I was like, oh, okay. He kind of, what was it, for 20 seconds? 20 minutes, sorry, 20 minutes.
Something like that. But yeah, the story here is that Jared Leto has climbed a portion of the Empire State Building in New York. It's a 102-story building. He didn't do it freehand. Tom Cruise would have done it freehand.
Yeah, that's true.
He did it with a harness in a bright orange jumpsuit. But this isn't like a high fashion jumpsuit, Simo. This is like the sort of, do you know, like the high vis patches and
with
stuff?
With the little reflective pads.
That like sort of like road workers, that sort of thing. There,
Yeah.
He wore one of those to do it, as in the biggest look at me thing you could have picked.
No.
It's quite literally high visibility clothing.
Is that a safety thing where he's been told he's got to wear that?
Well, I'm not sure because what's going to hit him up there?
It's a good point. You can see him, aren't you? He's the man of the side of the fucking Empire State Building. Yeah, it's a good point. That is a very good point.
He's done all of this to promote his band, which is called 30 Seconds to Mars. They're going on a new tour this year, so this is just a big publicity stunt to this. Yeah. But the question I have for you, Simo, obviously Jared Leto is probably most famous.
Oh, it's got to be his biggest role.
For playing
Best role.
The iconic character of Morbius.
That, I remember watching that for the first time in the cinema
here
with yourself. I remember just being blown away.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
The best cinema experience I've ever had in my life.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I can just remember when he looked to camera and said, "It's Morbin time," and the whole theatre just clapped. It was brilliant.
I can't believe they re-released that movie because of the internet and no one saw it.
Because of money, Simo. But yeah, obviously he's famous for playing Morbius.
Yeah.
And Morbius is a rogue of a famous wall-crawling superhero.
Who's been, I think, named in every single episode of this podcast.
Yeah, we're
so
big Spider-Man fans, apparently. But is this a bit of crossover, do you think? Is this Morbius in the flesh, IRL?
No, I was
giving
kind
a
of
little warning to Spider-Man.
That he was going to be dressed as Spider-Man or something like that. Like, what? If you're going to climb a building like the Empire State Building, surely you want to go dressed as Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think I would. But I mean,
I just want to dress as Spider-Man every day.
I think he couldn't have dressed as Morbius, because then people would have been like,
why is he dressed as Jared Leto?
Why is he wearing his normal everyday clothes? That doesn't make sense. But yeah, Jared Leto, you're not Tom Cruise. You're not going to be. Let it go. But well done, I suppose. And you've got your promotion on this podcast, haven't you? We've plugged your band.
Yeah, the one thing that he needs for his money is to be plugged on the Two Droids podcast.
That's very true. You're welcome. Royalty check in the post, please. Now, Simmer, I think that's all it is for news this week.
That is. It's a nice news segment. It's not overwhelming.
Compared to last week.
Yeah, but, news, it's important. It's the whole point of our podcast.
Absolutely, it is.
And we want to inform you, the listener. But yeah, next is trailers.
Yeah.
We've got a few trailers this week. Some I'd say I'm more looking forward to than others, but we're going to talk about them nonetheless. So our first trailer is for Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire.
Brrr, it's cold.
Whew, I actually did get a bit of shivers then.
Yeah.
So this movie is about someone dying from freezing to death for the first time in New York's history in the summer.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the whole movie.
I wonder if that's true or if that's just
yeah.
for narrative reasons.
Why do I kind of want someone to freeze now in the summer, just so I can be like, you were wrong, Pat Oswald.
Well, I personally disagree. I don't want anyone to die.
Obviously, I don't want you to die, but
Whoa! That's not what you said, Simo. You can't backtrack now.
It's for cinema, baby.
For cinema.
This is for Hollywood.
Yeah, anything's worth it for cinema.
So,
maybe
cast.
not.
We've got quite a good cast in this. We've got a couple of the OGs coming back, except for the ones that are dead, or the one that's dead.
And you like that, don't you, Simo?
I'm hoping he froze to death in New York.
Whoa!
So yeah, we've got Paul Rudd coming back as the best name on this entire cast. This is Mr. Gooberson.
Is that his actual name in these movies?
Mr. Gooberson. I can't remember what his first name is, and from Afterlife. So this movie follows on directly from Afterlife and the original Ghostbusters movie. But yeah, Paul Rudd's coming back as Mr. Gooberson. We've got McKenna Grace, who played Phoebe, the daughter, in the last one. I thought that was a great performance, to be fair, from a child actor. It was good. I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
Then we've got Finn Wolfhard, who, as you said earlier, is collecting 80s franchises.
Yeah,
What's he done now? Is that an 80s franchise or a 90s?
I think it's 80s. Yeah,
we'll put it in the same band.
I think I think the book probably definitely came out in the 80s.
Stranger Things isn't actually 80s, but it's based off the 80s.
It's set in the 80s.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
Yeah. Now Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
he's also in a band, and
he's in a band.
Bands were a thing in the 80s.
Bands. I don't know if they were actually.
Oh no, they definitely were.
I swear they came in the 90s.
No. You're mistaken there, Simo.
Yeah, then we've got Dan Aykroyd. OG playing on Ray again. It'd be nice to see him on screen. I think has he been in every single Ghostbusters? Because wasn't he in the reboot that they did in 2017?
Oh, he might have had a cameo.
I swear he did. Is he not the one that sold them the...
It might have been. He didn't have a big role.
No.
I know that.
Then we've got Ernie Hudson. He's coming back as Winston.
I like
obviously, that's going to be great to see. The director, so it's Gil Kennan. He directed the last one, Afterlife. He's also known for Monster House.
Oh.
I think he also did Poltergeist as well.
Monster House. The
Disney
animated one. Oh, the animated one.
Monster House.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not Haunted House. No, the
OG.
I
love that movie.
It was so good.
It was so good.
It's
incredible.
Eaten by the house and thrown out.
I think that's sort of all scary house movies, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, what's going to happen in this then? So the Spengler family returned to New York, and what you see in the trailer is they're on the beach, aren't they? It's like all the people on the beach having a good little time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden.
It's the hottest summer ever.
Oh yeah, the hottest summer. They're all having a good time. They're all popping a nice,
cool beverage,
Coke or Pepsi, whatever's your choice. Whichever one's going to give us money for this podcast. It out. But yeah, and then they're all enjoying it. And then a mysterious cloud appears, and then all of a sudden, ice everywhere.
What? But it's the hottest time of year, Simo.
I mean, what are you going to do in a situation like that? I mean, something mysterious is coming towards you. It feels a bit chilly and ghouly. Who do you call?
The police?
No, Ghostbusters. You were meant to go Ghostbusters. You know that bit, that.
Yeah.
You're meant to do that. You didn't do it, so yeah. But it looks really good. So it's going to be a bit of a passing of the torch, which I thought Afterlife was that. I thought
every Ghostbusters movie since the original. They're still passing it.
They finally found something that sticks.
Yeah.
But they haven't officially passed over the torch yet. But I swear they all tipped up the end of the last one.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the passing of the torch.
Even the ghost of I can't remember his name, of the Ghostbuster that died. They got him back.
Oh, that's what we want, isn't it? On the podcast. Well, whatever his name is.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm also in the same position.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to be a bit of a passing of the torch again. But or I'm hoping it's a bit more of a team up. Where it's two little Ghostbusters teams have got to come together.
It looks a bit like that
take it on.
in the trailer, sort of the old gen and new gen coming together.
Yeah.
My personal favourite part of the trailer was when Paul Rudd says, "Oh my God, this is a frozen empire," to the camera, and then it cut to black. I'm excited for this. I like Ghostbusters 1 and 2, and I think they get progressively worse after that. I'm excited.
Afterlife?
I thought it was okay, but it was just a movie to me.
Yeah, I think it's a Sunday movie.
Yeah,
something that you've had your Sunday dinner.
It's like made for ITV2.
Yeah,
it's one of those
or
ones.
Boxing Day.
Yeah.
It's just on in the morning or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I'll go and see it.
Yeah, so this comes out the 29th of March 2024. That's what it is at the moment. Obviously, it might change. Obviously, with whatever delays might happen or anything like that, it could change. But it is pending for the 29th of March next year. So it's not actually that far away.
No.
Next up, this one I reckon we're gonna fuck up a lot on this one. I think we might get hate from people, but Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Now I am not that familiar with this franchise. I've seen very small amounts of the old animation when it used to be on Toonatic.
Wow.
So,
That's an old
I didn't
reference.
have Sky as a kid. My parents wouldn't let me have it.
It's
so,
not a name I've heard for a long time.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've only seen like little bits of the old animated show.
Yeah.
Like years ago.
Yeah, I know the premise.
Yeah.
But I don't really know much about it. So if we get anything wrong,
Let us know.
just leave us alone. All right. Right, but yeah. So the cast in this looks pretty good actually. It looks quite good. We've got Daniel Day Kim, who's playing Fire Lord Oze. If I've pronounced that wrong, I don't care. He's most well known for his role as Raymond in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
For any of you who don't know, he was in Spider-Man 2 and he had like a small part as Doc Ock's little
Yeah.
friend.
His best known role.
Yeah, that's his best known role. Then we've got Paul Sun Xiang Li.
Big Star Wars fan.
Yes, he's in all. Is he in all of the TV shows that they've made?
I think so.
Post Mando. Has he been in Boba Fett?
Yeah, I think he's in Boba Fett.
Yeah, so he's kind of like the linchpin. It seems like that's.
He's the
TV.
the Nick Fury.
Yeah,
of the Mandoverse.
Yeah. I think he. Pretty much is, isn't he? He's the Nick Fury of the Mandoverse. He's playing. I'm going to say it's wrong, aren't I?
Go on, give it a try.
Iroh.
Yeah, Uncle Iroh. That's
Iroh.
right. Yeah,
That sounds right. Doesn't
he's
it?
the goat of Avatar, if I remember right. Best character.
Well, I will see it when it's on the screen. His character looks really cool though. You can see him on the trailer, can't you? He's got the little like the side beard and the top knot. I like that.
Well, I know
Especially
everything
since
about
gold,
this
so.
show, so I know every single last thing. I can tell you.
Okay, so what does he do then?
So he's an uncle.
Yeah.
Of the Fire Lord.
The Fire Lord.
And I think from
Is
what
that
I can
actually who he's the
remember.
uncle of? 'Cause...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and I think he sort of tries to steer him down the right path, but the Fire Lord's obviously the bad guy. Yeah.
Because red.
Yeah.
Bad. Fire. Bad.
Yeah.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
That's how we coded to work.
Yeah. Water. Good. Fire. Bad.
Uncle Iroh's the goat, and then following that, the second best character is the big fluffy dog bear thing that flies.
Oh, the never-ending story dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
So then we've got Gordon Cormier, who's playing Aang, which is the Airbender.
Whoa.
Yeah, I bended some air.
How did you do that? You just brought
If I
leaves
told
into
you,
the room.
I'd have to kill you.
I've got to pick these bloody leaves up now. Now you're done with them.
So he's playing Aang. It looks really cool, actually. I like the design of it. I mean, you can't really change much. He's got a big arrow on his head.
Yeah. No hair.
I want to know, did he have to shave his head off? Did he have to then go to school after filming this?
Yeah.
Bald? And like, I can just imagine them doing it with like permanent marker on his head, so he can't even rub it off. He's just got the little arrow on his head.
That's probably why we haven't seen anything, because that counts as promotion.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And he's got a bloody permanent arrow on his head.
He's got it tattooed. He's in the studio. They're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna do this for you."
Yeah. And now you'll always be Aang in our eyes.
You'll always be the Airbender.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
So it looks pretty good. The trailer. I think it looks incredible. The visuals look really cool.
Yeah.
I think every time it goes to the Fire Nation, it's always really dark, and then everything else, it's like really nice and vibrant.
Doesn't give a huge amount away either.
No. I mean, obviously, if you've watched the old movie or the old show, I'm sure you know what's going to happen. But yeah, basically, what's going on? It's a war-torn land, and basically, there's some people that can bend 4 classic elements. Can you guess what those elements are?
Iron, silver, gold, and helium.
No, you idiot. You're thinking of actual elements. These are make-belief elements. We've got water, earth, fire, and air.
But all those things exist also, Simon.
Yeah, all on Earth as well. So.
Oh, you mean more elemental elements?
Yeah. So I think what they mean is,
Wait, is this just one big rip-off of the movie Elementals?
Oh my god, it's the social commentary movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Elementals came out this year, so it
yeah.
definitely became before the entire premise of Avatar.
Of Avatar, yeah. They've stolen the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well, hopefully they do a better job of it than Elementals did.
yeah, 'cause it was shit.
Yeah.
To be honest, we actually went to watch that. We went to watch. It was an advanced screening. It was a secret one, and everyone was hoping for Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And then the massive collective sigh.
It wasn't good.
Like we were walking up the steps as it like came on, weren't we? So we didn't know what it was. We just heard.
Yeah, then a few
But, yeah.
people got up to
They
leave.
did.
Can you blame them?
No.
I wish I did.
I wish we had the to leave, but we'd paid, so
Yeah.
we were staying. But yeah, it was pretty good. I've seen quite a few mixed reactions online.
Mhm.
This is a quote. I haven't put the person's name in it, but I've got the quote from. So some people asking, why are we getting something we didn't ask for? Well, there's two simple things for you here:
Yeah.
money, and it's not for you.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want it, it's not for you. Don't worry about it. Move on.
Yeah.
It's not going to bother you that it's out there in the world. And two, I think it's because Netflix want to make money. I think that's why it's there.
That's the big one.
They clearly got the rights to it, and we're like, shit, we need to do something with it. So they've done something with it.
Yeah.
So there's the answer to your question, random person on the internet.
Not only that.
And if you listen to this podcast and you're the one that did that, I'm glad I've answered it for you.
Yeah.
This is going to be a 10-episode release, and it's coming out on February 22nd, 2024.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good. I think the cast, like how they've translated the animated characters to live action,
Yeah.
like the casting director deserves a pay rise. Like
Yeah, it looks really good.
incredible casting. And yeah.
I've only got one question on this one. With the episode releases,
Mm.
is it going to be doing the new format for Netflix releases? Are they going to do... I couldn't find anything on the internet. I was trying to find... I've scoured
Yeah.
every single corner of the internet. So if I can't find it and you're listening and you found it, good on you. I want to know if they're doing it in parts or if it's going to be all as a one-er, like the old times.
Yeah.
I'd be quite interested to see that. I think they'll probably be better for themselves if they did it in parts.
Yeah. I think
just to keep it in the zeitgeist.
if it's coming out at the end of the month, they'll probably release half of it in one and then half of it in the next month to
Yeah.
get you. Just to really lock you down for that 2-month subscription payment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you better not be sharing your password because
No.
they'll get you.
Don't send the Netflix police after me, whatever you do.
The next one we've got Inside Out 2.
Whoa!
Yeah, so there was the first one, and now
But
there's the second one.
if you're inside out and then you're inside out again, are you the back?
Okay, so we've got The Outside 2. Is that what it would be? The Outside?
I guess
Or
so.
Outside Inwards?
But I never feel the need to specify that I'm not inside out.
I think everyone knows that you're not Inside Out.
So this movie's just called 2.
Movie 2.
Movie
So
2.
Movie 2 is coming out. We've watched the trailer just before this.
Yeah.
Because I think it only just released like
Yeah.
a few days, like a day ago.
Is that very new? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very new. Yeah, so basically, what's going to what we kind of get from the trailer from this is all the original emotions from episode 1. Yeah, I guess episode 1 from the first movie. They're all there. They're having a bit of a good time in the old headquarters, and then, but what's this? A renovation team?
No.
Then we see a little montage of people just destroying their office, and then all of a sudden, a new emotion arrives. Now this new emotion is played by Maya Hawke, and it's anxiety because it's basically going to be following the main protagonist as she goes through her teenage years. And as everyone knows, you don't have anxiety until you're a teenager.
No, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I definitely never felt any form of other emotions other than anger, happiness, sadness, and hunger when I was a kid.
Hunger.
Hunger's an emotion.
It's definitely not one in the movie.
Well, yeah, so we've got Phyllis Smith, as most people know her from either the first one or from The Office.
Yeah.
She's playing sadness. Maya Hawke playing anxiety. Tony Hale as fear. Liza Liparia as disgust, which I constantly have when I look at you.
Yeah.
Amy Fowler is playing joy. Lewis Black as anger. I think it looks pretty good. The animation style, I think, is pretty. It's pretty cool. I like this style of animation that they did. It's Pixar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is this going to do much for Pixar? Because I know they're in a bit of a downward spiral, aren't they?
Yeah.
At the moment?
I mean, the first one's good. I mean, there's a few cast members that aren't returning on this one that they've recast. I know Mindy Kaling was in the first one.
Yeah.
And so was Bill Hader.
Yeah.
As disgust and fear, respectively. So they've been replaced. I don't know if that's because of maybe a scheduling issue or
Could be.
maybe lack of faith in the project, but I mean it looks good. I mean we're not the intended audience for it.
No. Not at all.
And I trust Pixar to make a heartfelt animated movie. Probably the best ones to do it.
Other than Elemental.
Yeah, other than Elementals, yeah.
I generally thought was just so shit.
Yeah, appalling.
Yeah, so this is getting directed by Kelsey Mann, which is actually his first film directing
Whoa.
This is the first time he's directed a movie. He has directed previously once before, but that's for a TV show. But yeah, this is going to be his first time directing. Obviously, it's a bit different directing an animated movie, but he's worked on a lot of stuff in animation and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not a bad sort of movie, I think, to debut with. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's in post production and it's expected for June next year. Obviously, with releases nowadays, they're all up in the air. They change left, right, and centre. So it could be out next year in June. It might not be, but I think for the sort of audience this is for, they're not really the audience that are hard done by when a move date changes. They're not like us horrible nerds that as soon as we get told that a movie's been delayed.
I hope the audience of this movie isn't listening to this show. To be honest.
If we are, we do swear in this, so maybe don't listen to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it looks alright.
Although, if you're on your parents' phone,
subscribe.
Yeah, leave a review. If there's anything you want to know about more swear words, leave us a question in the comments.
Or go and ask your parents.
Yeah.
Tell them that some people on the internet told you what some swear words were. You want to know more?
Maybe don't do that.
The last trailer is the one that I'm most excited for.
Okay.
And that's Masters of the Air.
Wow.
Now, I personally love military movies. They are probably one of my favourite genres. I was actually allowed to watch Black Hawk Down before I was allowed to watch Pirates of the Caribbean as a kid.
Wow.
Because my parents thought that skeletons would be scary for me. But I can see, Orlando Bloom fall out of a helicopter towards his death and you're going to get shot at. But yeah, I can see all that. But no, I can't see skeletons because scary. But yeah, this looks really good. So it's following the 100th Bomb Group. As their mission in bombing Europe, trying to bring the war to Hitler's doorstep, which is what it was. Now, it's produced again by the same people who did Band of Brothers and The Pacific. So Spielberg and Hanks are both involved in this.
It's big boots to fill. It's a strong property to follow.
Very, very much so. I mean, if any of you have watched Band of Brothers, you'll probably know that it is. And I'm going to say this right now. This is not a hot take. If you're wrong if you don't agree with this. It is the best made TV program to date, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd struggle to disagree.
Like you can say Game of Thrones all you want, but this is a TV series that knew what it was. It went for one series because that's all it needed. It told its story. It left. And I think it's always been the emotional connections between the people inside those movies have always been incredible. I think Pacific showed that more so in the emotion side of it, as that was more of like a character-driven one where it was focusing on the lives of individuals as opposed to a team. But this one, I am excited for. It's not going to be like Top Gun but for TV.
No.
It looks like it is a bomber group, so it is going to be slow and dramatic. But yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. This is meant to be coming out in January 26 next year, so it's literally not long at all. And yeah, it is. It is a good day, isn't it? For some,
it is.
It is a good day.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. The cast looks great. Yes. Austin Butler still in his Elvis voice,
still playing Elvis
era. Yeah, I think there's some really strong casting. I think Barry Keoghan's in this as well.
Yes.
Which is he's just having a great year. Apparently.
It does look really good, and for obviously it's been produced by I think Apple and HBO.
Yes.
I believe are the ones making it. Obviously HBO made the last two, so it's no surprise there. But yeah, it's never a surprise in these sort of shows to have just all actors and actresses from everything. So
yeah.
I mean, the old ones had Jimmy Kimmel popped up at one point as just to do a resupply.
Yeah. Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, is he in this?
Not in this. No,
sorry,
he's in Band of. Is it Band of Brothers? No, he's in Saving Private Ryan, isn't he?
Yeah. Which, if you didn't know, Saving Private Ryan was actually made to prove that Band of Brothers could be done.
There you go.
So Saving Private Ryan was actually just it was just a marketing campaign for Band of Brothers. Not necessarily just that, but it was to show that people wanted that sort of thing and to prove that the way they were going to film it was going to actually work, which is why them two are so similar in the way they're filmed and stuff like that. They went quite serious in like the way we were talking about that then. But yeah. Like I'm really excited for it. I absolutely love this. This is Dad TV.
Yeah.
Back at it.
Dad Cinemas had a big a big run. Now it's time for Dad TV.
And it's back to TV. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This is probably the one that I'm looking forward to most. I remember it got mentioned and rumoured for years that they were going to be doing another one.
Yeah.
So yeah, this. I'm hoping it doesn't flop.
No, I think it'll do well. I think Apple TV and HBO are two big signs of quality now when it comes to TV. So I'm sure it'll do well. I'm excited for it.
I do like miniseries as well when it's just contained. You know that they're not going to be trying to sell you a next season or anything.
No, there's no sequel bait. It's all payoff.
You see what you get.
Yeah, exactly that.
And you don't get any product placement in these sort of movies, really. I'll say this now, and they'll just be like,
although this is a TV
everywhere.
show. So
yeah,
this is a TV show.
I guess. But yeah, I think I'm excited for it, and that is all my trailers for this week. There are a few other trailers that have come out this week, films like Migration and stuff like that. But would you want to sit here for 3 hours and listen to us talk about trailers? No, you don't.
I know I don't want to sit here for 3 hours and talk about them. So
No,
I can't imagine people want to sit for 3 hours.
I want to get to the title segment and talk about the Marvels.
You want to get to the title segment?
I do want to get to the title segment.
Well, let's do that, shall we? Right after a quick word from the sponsor of this episode. Who Clothing is a fantastic new brand recently launched by two lads from Derbyshire in the UK who have a passion for sustainability, active living and looking damn good while you do it. Their goal is to craft fantastic products that give back to communities and individuals without being a burden on our planet. Their first product, the Trash Trooper Cap, is fully hand-stitched and made completely from fully recycled and upcycled materials. Who have partnered with sustainable partner Topiku to make sure that they are actually having a positive impact and have committed to driving sustainable environmental, social and economic growth in developing communities across the globe. Now, we don't just promote anything on this show, and I can say hands down that this Trash Trooper Cap is genuinely one of the best made and comfiest products that I have used all year. I wear a lot of hats, I'm a big cap guy, and I can definitely say that the Trash Trooper Cap is probably the best looking one in my collection. Please do check them out on Instagram if you would like to learn more about how they operate sustainably and ethically at Who Official Clothing. That is at HU Official Clothing, and on all other social media platforms at Who Official. Their website is also live now at www.whoofficialclothing.com. That is www.huofficialclothing.com. Head over there now, check them out, get yourself a Trash Trooper Cap, and take the first step to making your wardrobe more sustainable for everyone. Thanks again to Who Clothing for sponsoring this episode. Now, let's get into the title segment of the show, Simo.
Let's do it.
The Marvels. So, the way these review segments work normally, we're going to do non-spoilers first, then we'll do our rating, which is to see or not to see. After all, that is the question, isn't it, Simo?
That is the question. On this question, no questions asked podcast.
No, just the one question.
Just the one question, actually.
Yeah. Then after that, we'll dive into a bit of a spoiler discussion. We will warn you at the time, but if you don't want to hear spoilers, maybe skip past that bit. But the Marvels, Simo.
Marvels.
What do you think?
I thought it was incredible, actually. Not
incredible.
Incredible.
Oh no.
You know what?
We have to take your first answer.
Yeah, incredible. I thought it was incredible. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
I had a really good time watching it.
I think maybe saying incredible now might have been a
Nope.
little
You've said it.
little hiccup there, saying it so quickly. Because it's not a perfect movie, but I'm not going to say it's not a perfect movie actually, because no movie's perfect except for the original Star Wars and Revenge of the Sith.
But the Marvels.
For the Marvels, yeah, good. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I laughed quite a lot.
Yeah,
I
it's
laughed
funny.
at jokes that I think were meant for people that are a bit younger than myself.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
I was definitely laughing at some of the most simplest jokes.
Yeah, but they worked.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a well put together movie, and just from all the stuff I've seen on the internet coming into it, where they talk about disjointed plots and stuff like that, I'd say there is some things in the plots that could be better. Yeah, but I genuinely think it as a comic book movie. Yeah, it's good. It's a good comic book movie. It felt like just reading an issue of a comic book. Yeah, it was simple. The premise was simple. They literally talk about how everything happens and the reasons for why very early on. They literally just go, "This is why it's happening," and then that's it. There's no like deep explanation to it. It's very simple. No. and I like it.
Yeah, I'd echo all of that. I thought it was really good. Moved at a clip as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
After some of the things we've seen recently, it was nice just to have a relatively quick cinema experience. I think the biggest thing for me, I think what made it is the chemistry between the three leads. So sort of Captain Marvel, Photon, and then Miss Marvel. Their chemistry as a team and those actors together, fantastic.
Yeah,
really
incredible.
good. Yeah, and to be honest, I think we could probably say that we're not the intended demographic for this movie.
No.
But regardless of that, really good. Just good fun as well.
Yeah, it was nice to go to a movie that was just fun.
Yeah.
There's not anything. There didn't seem to be any deep meaning behind a lot of the stuff. It was literally just, have a comic book movie.
Yeah.
And that was nice.
And it does follow on, granted, from from Ms. Marvel, a little bit of WandaVision, and from Captain Marvel as well. But even then, I think it does a pretty good job of explaining the points if you haven't seen them. So if you are going into this blind, it won't make a huge difference to that.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I thought, like I said, the cast was the big standout for me.
Stacked.
It was brilliant, like solid performances. The story, like you said, I think it was not disjointed. I think as a narrative, it was good. I think there was maybe just a couple of narrative points which maybe could have been expanded on or developed a little bit more.
Yeah.
But bar that, I think it was really good. It was just a fun time in the cinema.
I don't think this is a spoiler, and if it is, we'll just edit it out, I guess. It's in the trailer. They're switching their powers. There's something's happening in the movie, which means every time they use their power, well, not every time they use their powers. Sometimes when they use their powers, they switch places.
Yeah.
And in the movie, they have to deal with that challenge and try and overcome it. And I think the way that they do overcome
team.
and work as a team, the Marvels, and I think the way that it works and the way that they overcome it, I think it's done really well. It's not just they're superheroes, so they can just instantly deal with this situation.
Yeah.
A lot of the movie is them figuring out how to work together as a team.
Yeah.
And I think the culmination of that, I don't think the culmination was as good as some of the other sequences. Still very good sequences, but I thought the bits where it was disjointed, if you will, as in the way they didn't understand what was going on. And, there's bits in where the people are teleporting to space, into people's houses and stuff like that. I thought that was really good and really fun.
Yeah, really well made. I think there's been a lot of talk about like CGI, especially for Marvel movies. I'd say probably 95% of it was really good. There's only a couple of scenes that actually stood out to me as like, oh god, that's a bit jarring.
Yeah.
But bar that, the visual effects on whole were pretty good across the board. And probably quite visually effects dependent as well. Yeah. Obviously, given their power sets, it's not something you can do physically, sort of in real life, with the powers that they all have. But I think they were great.
The only thing I'll say with the VFX is, because the bit you're talking about that didn't look great. It's a flying sequence, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only reason I don't get how they've managed to make this one look so terrible. It's not so terrible. It's okay. It's fine. It's not going to ruin your viewing experience. No. But it just looks off. Yeah. I don't get it because Guardians of the Galaxy just came out.
Yeah.
Same studio, and the flying sequence where it was a POV. Was incredible.
It was the best I can compare it to is the scene in Black Widow in the movie where spoilers for Black Widow. But where Yelena falls off the thing.
Yes, yeah,
and it's like the really blurred background, and it's so obviously a green screen.
Yeah.
A similar vibe to that in one of the scenes.
I agree.
But on the whole, pretty good.
You could tell when they were using the volume as well, and I don't think it was that bad.
No.
So when they went on some planets, you could tell that you can tell it is the volume.
Yeah.
But I think it was done quite well. But saying that though, they were just stood. They didn't move around in those scenes that much.
No.
They were kind of just stood there. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Samuel Jackson, I thought was great in it.
He's still doing it.
He's still doing it. He is still doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was good.
I mean, I think for me the standout member of the cast by far is Iman Vellani, who is Ms. Marvel.
He's incredible in it.
Not to sort of devalue everyone else's performance, because everyone is pretty good, but she carries, especially the comedic scenes in this movie. She does those really, really well. And, you know, I hope that they can really expand on her character more, because she is great. You know, she's doing a really good job. She's on here with some heavy hitters, you know, like Brie Larson's an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson's just iconic at this point. And, you know, as a young actor that hasn't been in a huge amount of projects, you know, she holds her own, and she's great. But I also think all of Ms. Marvel's family, all of those actors kill it. Their family dynamic is incredible.
There's a scene very early on where there's a lot of stuff going on, and the family are involved, and I thought it was really fun. I don't want to go too much into that scene while we're not in spoilers, but no, it was really fun. I think that the mum from the family is my standout from them.
She is really good.
I think I genuinely think she was the best thing of the movie. Miss Marvel, I thought. Well, to be fair, it feels more like her story. Than the others. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's like a little group of sisters having fun times in space.
And they all needed each other.
They did. Which you find out in the movie. Do you want to go into spoilers?
I think, maybe. Just on one other point, I think the villain is good.
Yes,
Not one of the most complex villains that we've seen. However, I think Zora Ashton, who's playing the villain, Darben.
Yeah,
I think
she's the new accuser.
Yeah. She does a great job. And she's a British actor as well.
Is she not in Fresh Meat?
Yeah, she's.
Genuinely, it was killing me the entire time I was watching it. I just kept thinking it was Viv.
Yeah, she's Vod.
Vod, sorry. Not
yeah,
Viv.
she's Vod in Fresh Meat, and she's in a couple episodes of Doctor Who as well. But as we've discovered previously, you're not a real fan, so you don't really understand it that much.
Well, we all know that anyone listening to this, Liam Besson, if he's listening, me and him are the real Doctor Who fans here. We know what we're on about when it comes to David Tennant.
Okay.
See how I said David Tennant as Doctor Who then?
Yep, I heard. But she's great. I think she does good with what she's got. I think she gets probably the most out of that character in the way it's written. And she's good.
I genuinely thought that her reasoning behind what she was doing in the movie, it made a lot of sense. I think the execution didn't make any sense, but I think the reason for that is a bit of law, in universe law. Yeah. But then I think they kind of break that when it comes to the last bit. So we'll talk about that in spoilers. But yeah, I thought it was quite good. I enjoyed it, and I thought the portrayal of it was really good. I think she acted really well. But I just didn't care that much about the villain.
It wasn't so much a sympathetic villain. It was sort of skewed towards trying to be, but I don't think it paid off, that well. But she's great in the role. She is good, and I think my expectations were pretty low going into this, but I left feeling pretty happy about it actually. I've enjoyed it.
I think for a lot of people, if you go into this just going with an open mind, and it'll surpass your expectation if you do that. If you go in expecting it to be like Civil War or
it's
the
not
Avengers movies, then no, it's not going to be. Just go in as if it's a solo movie. It's just a comic book movie, and you will enjoy it. Brie Larson was great in it. There is a bit in the movie that talks about. I'll leave it for spoilers.
Well, let's move on to spoilers. Let's rate it first.
Yes.
So we're going to count down from 3. We're going to answer the question.
The question. The one question.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. To see.
Yeah, it's got
absolutely to see.
It's got to be to see. It's a good movie.
Better than Ant-Man.
Really good. Yeah, way better than Quantumania.
Yeah.
Holy shit! It's
not even close.
I think we were talking about it earlier, weren't we? Of like superhero movies. Like we've had Guardians this year, but you know, it's not like a stereotypical superhero movie. Whereas this kind of felt like a return to that a little bit.
Yeah.
In some ways. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So this scene we were talking about earlier with the family. So it's very early on.
Whoa. We haven't done a spoiler warning yet, Simo.
But they know.
There
There you go. There's a spoiler
That's your
warning.
official spoiler alarm.
Now, we're not going to do chapters for this podcast, so if you don't want to hear spoilers and you want to hear what is next, I'd say
just wing it.
just wing it.
Live a little.
Yeah. If you get a spoiler, it's on you at that point, not on us.
But we are
You should.
officially now in spoilers.
We are.
From now,
From here.
this point,
Because you did the noise.
I did it.
What's the noise? There you go. You've heard it again. That's more spoilers inbound.
Yeah.
Coming work your way.
Brace.
So this... Oh, bloody hell. Before we've even got into spoilers, I've just realised we've got to talk about the budget. We'll do that after. But yeah, so... There's one thing I just want to talk about in this movie. I want to get it off my chest quite quickly. So obviously Marvel's. Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, has had loads of hate all the time to do with this role and any role she ever does.
Yeah.
Because there's just a corner of horrible men on the internet that are just so insecure of themselves that a woman's doing well in something, they hate it.
How dare she?
How dare women have representation on the screen? How dare they?
That might be your view, Simo. It's not my view personally.
No, someone's going to cut that.
I'm pro
someone's
women.
Someone's going to cut that and say that but I'm not. Well, just so you know, I'm not. I am. But yeah, Brie Larson obviously got a lot of hate for the last role. I think there's no reason for why she gets the hate, just because she plays a powerful character.
She's a woman. Yeah, that seems to be the main reason.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if this is intentional, but I kind of got the feeling that part of that hate was woven into the story. So part of Captain Marvel's story arc in this is that in the last movie she came and obviously destroyed the AI that was leading the Kree Empire, and she was seen as the what was the name she was called?
The Annihilator.
The Annihilator. Yeah, she was given the title the Annihilator, and basically she doesn't like that name. She doesn't like the fact she was given it. But essentially, to the Kree, she like destroyed what they knew of the world and what they knew of their place in the universe
in the most brutal way possible. Is how it turned out.
Their sun is damaged. They've had
no atmosphere.
Yeah, no atmosphere. They've had a civil war,
drought,
and basically she's like having to come to terms with this hate that she'd gotten for this. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, this isn't what I wanted, this is not what I was setting out to achieve. And as a viewer, I kind of felt that was a little bit of like commentary. I don't think it was intentional, but it felt a little bit like commentary on what happened to her. It's
very subtle.
Yeah, it is subtle. It's not a main part of it.
It's not on the nose at all.
No.
They do it very well, but I do think that is probably woven into the story a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely think that sorry, Ryan just changed the spelling on the document we've got in front of me because I did it very quickly.
Yeah.
and I spelt her name wrong. That was the one. I just want to jump onto that bit and then we'll go back to the style and we'll go through the rest of the movie. But I just wanted to say that I thought it was quite nice. If that is intentional, I think that's quite nice that they've done that.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't deserve it in the slightest, and she's good in the role. She always has been.
So what is the movie? What's the overarching story?
Well, the spoiler story, or the spoiler version of this story. So Captain Marvel's out in space. She's on a ship. She's lonely. Monica Rambeau, after the events of WandaVision, has her powers and is working for Saber on Nick Fury's space station. All of a sudden, though, they detect some sort of rift with the little wormhole transportation things up in space. Both Captain Marvel and Captain Rambeau, as we'll refer to her, go to investigate these disturbances, at which point their powers become entangled.
Ooh. And that's the explanation we get for their powers being entangled. It's just light powers, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. They have
just light powers.
They all have light-based powers.
And they're the only ones.
Yeah.
And then they get entangled together.
Yeah.
I like the it's very simple, isn't it?
Yeah, and
I like that.
They use it to their advantage as well. There's some really cool sequences of like fight scenes where they switch in, and you're traveling from Kamala Khan's house to the Saber space station to some random planet that Captain Marvel's on, and they're all switching places, and they do it really, really well. It's really well managed, and especially sort of later on once they've learned to, work as a unit and switch at the same time and use that to their advantage. It works really, really well.
I've only got one problem with the way that they were teleporting.
Mm.
So obviously Monica Rambeau's in space.
Yes.
She's in a spacesuit.
Yeah.
She teleports.
Mm.
She moves out of the spacesuit and
Yeah.
lands on and goes into Kamala Khan's house.
Yeah.
She's got her superhero costume on,
Mm.
but the spacesuit's still in space.
Yeah.
So why is it that they're normal clothes? Because we see that normal clothes can be kept on while they teleport,
Yeah.
but the astronaut suit doesn't.
I suppose it's probably an additional layer.
I think it was so they didn't
And,
kill Miss Marvel in space straight away.
That, and
but-
I'd also say maybe lack of direct contact
Yeah,
with the skin.
yeah, maybe.
Obviously, the clothes are touching the skin, whereas an astronaut thing isn't going to be touching
an
the skin.
astronaut thing.
Yeah, an astronaut thing.
Also, when we're talking about the gates that they were using to teleport from, they mentioned the name of them so many times in the movie, and I couldn't say
can't
for the
remember
life
what
of
it
me
is.
what they're called.
I really couldn't tell you.
Access points? I don't know.
They're like wormholes or something.
Yeah,
Um,
hexagons. It looks
Yeah.
like the sky from Chicken Little.
yeah,
That's what it looks
basically.
like.
So the villain
Yeah.
is basically after revenge for what Captain Marvel did to the Kree homeworld.
Yeah.
And she does this by finding another one of Ms. Marvel's bangles,
Yeah.
and then using that power along with the power from Roman the Accuser's big space
Universal
hammer,
weapon.
the universal weapon. She's using that to open these new transportation holes in space to basically steal resources from other planets.
Yeah.
She's targeting planets that Captain Marvel has an affinity with. So she goes to one and takes the sea because it's like 97% water. She goes to another one and takes the atmosphere, and then she comes to Earth and tries to steal the sun.
Now, I've got a problem with this plan.
Mm.
So she doesn't want Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, anywhere near her plans. She doesn't
No.
want anywhere near her.
No.
So why attack her planets, like the things that hold dear to her?
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Now, I started to try and think in my head, maybe there's a reason why they're attacking these certain planets. And I think they do mention it's to do with the system, don't they?
Yeah.
But then they break that law by later on then going to Earth to steal the sun.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically she's stealing. The sun's died, so they need a sun. They have no water, so they need water, and then the atmosphere isn't it? Yeah, like you
Yeah.
said. So I was obviously they said in Guardians of the Galaxy that you can't jump through too many holes at once
No.
because it ruins it or everything goes weird.
Yeah,
so
you
I was
go
kind
all
of thinking,
squiggly
maybe
wiggly.
they can only go to planets nearby and take resources from those planets.
Mm.
But then they go to Earth, which I'm like, I don't know space, but it's quite far away, isn't it? Clearly,
You think so?
Yeah,
It's a
like-
different galaxy.
and they try to take the sun. Now, there's just one problem with the plan, and I get it. She's evil, all right. I get it. Just space, infinite.
Yeah.
Space is infinite. Go to a system where they have a sun, and just take that one. Where there's no people there. Not going to hurt anyone.
But then she wouldn't be evil, Simo.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have Captain Marvel ruining your plans, and you'd have people on Halal or whatever it's called. Is it Halal?
Definitely not halal.
Not halal.
Hela.
Hela. There you go. On which is the Kree home planet. You'll have them, having a good time. They'll have the water. They'll have their air. You don't have to kill people for it.
Yeah, but she's evil.
Oh yeah, I forget she's evil. I forget. Yeah, sorry.
She's after a bad time.
Yeah, I forgot the main character out for this is she's just evil. But then the
She
whole
is.
point of her story is she's trying to save her people. So yeah, to me, the actual plan, bit shit. But,
Yeah. But I mean, it nearly worked. She gets 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
It's only at the sun when she's spoiled. But yeah, well, that's basically what happens. The villain they're successful in 2 out of the 3. So they get the atmosphere back, they get the water back, they go to the sun, obviously head over to Earth's solar system, and that's when they have a big face-off. They have a big fight off, the Marvels versus the villain. At one point, the villain impaled
Yes.
by
gets stabbed.
a brick.
Yeah.
So they're there, they're pleading, they're begging, like, come on, man, this ain't you.
Yeah, we've got a solution for
Yeah,
it.
you don't want to be doing
It all
this.
seems well.
He's like, yeah, cool, I don't want to be doing this. So they lift the big spike out of her, and then she just immediately changes her mind.
Yeah, straight
and
away.
flips,
Evil.
takes Ms. Marvel's second bangle, and then causes a bit of carnage, doesn't she?
Yeah, she goes, "Let's there be carnage," and then
Let's there be carnage.
Yeah, and then she becomes Carnage, and then all of a sudden we have the crossover that we all wanted. We have Woody Harrelson in a Marvel movie.
If only that was true.
No, it's not true.
Instead, she goes ahead and creates a little incursion, doesn't she? A little break in the multiverse.
She does create a break in the She rips a hole in the space-time continuum.
She does.
Which is, I always love it when on a sci-fi show or movie they go, they've ripped a hole in space-time fabric, and it's just always stuff like that. I love it when they do that. I love it.
I've personally never heard that ever in any show.
You heard it today.
But yeah, so they cause a rift, an incursion, if you will, in the multiverse. And there's only one person that can stop it, and that is Monica Rambeau.
It is.
So she sort of absorbs Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel's powers for a little time, flies off into the rift, and tries to fix it, but then quickly realises that she can only fix it from the other side.
Of course.
Uh-oh.
Of course. It's got to be that, hasn't it?
It does.
It's got to be that.
For narrative reasons.
Yeah.
So then she fixed the rift, fixed the hole, but then he's stuck in a different universe.
What universe might that be, Ryan?
Well, maybe we'll get onto that a little bit later on.
Maybe we will.
What happens next, Simon?
So, what happens next? They basically fly back to Earth, but it's just that Miss Marvel at this point, she's by herself, and everyone's like, oh my god, where's Captain Marvel?
Where'd she go?
Where's Monica? Obviously, she tells them the story that they've lost Monica, but Captain Marvel, she's gone to go and do some superheroing.
Yeah.
And she flies over to the Kree Empire's homeworld, flies past them as a little flyby, Top Gun style, like she was in the old Marvel movie, in the old Captain Marvel movie. She flies straight past them, straight to the sun. They're all probably sat there thinking, oh god, we're all going to die. But then somehow, she kickstarts the heart of her son.
She does.
And
all by herself.
She kickstarts the heart of her son, starts the sun back up again, and everything is happy as Larry on the Kree homeworld. Now there's a little bit that happens straight after this, a nice little teaser. Now this is not the teaser we spoke of last week.
No.
This is a brand new teaser.
We'll get into that at the end.
For the Young Avengers.
Yes.
So basically it cuts, we think it's the end of the movie. We're not in trailers just yet, so we're like, what's this? And we see a little bow. And we see Kate Bishop. And for what some people might think might be Nick Fury sat in the corner of Kate Bishop's house.
He likes that.
It's not actually Nick Fury. It's
who is it?
Kamala Khan. So Kamala Khan somehow has stolen intel from Saber, or was given intel from Saber.
Yeah, never confirmed.
Not confirmed. I'm sure we'll find out in further movies. But she's putting together a team. Now we're not being confirmed. It's not confirmed that it is the Young Avengers, but it's pretty much been setting up for the Young Avengers. We've got a young Ant-Man. We've got a young. Well, we see Hawkeye. We see Kate Bishop's Hawkeye in the show, and she seems to agree to join the New Avengers. But yeah, who else have we got? We've got Ironheart. We've got New Vision.
Yeah.
Will he be on the actual Avengers?
Well, yeah, 'cause he's probably the youngest one on there. He's like 3.
Yeah, but he's in the Young Avengers in the comics, so it makes sense.
We potentially Patriot was teased in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier, sorry, as it was when it finished. I think potentially Wanda's kids. I don't think that story's fully played out yet, but I know they served on the team in the comics. They might make an appearance.
Do you reckon it'd be a movie or a TV show?
A movie, I think.
Yeah.
It has to be a movie. I think even if you want to keep any value in the IP that is the Avengers, it has to be a movie.
Yeah.
I think. And I'd like to see maybe Miles Morales in there one day as well.
I'm going to say, I did say earlier about Spider-Man, didn't I? But
there's no way in hell.
I think it would work story-wise.
I think it'd work.
But
there's no chance that they're putting Tom Holland.
The little mouse isn't going to allow that to happen.
No, they are not putting Tom Holland in a Young Avengers movie. If they do, I will eat this microphone live.
Right. Someone write this down now. Someone get this.
Clip me.
I was going to say,
I don't care.
Let's get this written down. We've got it recorded. We've got the evidence of this.
Yeah, I'll be the one that edits it into the podcast, mate. Clip it.
You're going to take this out. I can tell.
Clip
you're going to take it out so no one can use this microphone.
If I'm that confident that if Tom Holland is in Young Avengers, I will eat my mic.
Now, you've just said in it, so if he's in it for any period of time, he's in it. So you're going to have to eat your mic.
Yep.
He's in
I
it
stand
at all.
by it.
Okay.
I stand by it.
So that's the end of the actual movie, is what we see.
Mm.
Now, there's a few standout points that I just want to mention before we go on to the next big thing. I thought the comedy elements of this movie were incredible.
Yeah.
Now, there's a scene where they go onto the space station, and there's been these mysterious packages all over, these mysterious eggs
Yeah.
all over the space station. They're trying to
They
figure
look
out what
like
it is.
brains.
Yeah, they do look like brains. I was trying to figure out what it was going to be. Definitely not what I thought.
No.
So Goose from the last movie, the Flurkin, the cat, has given birth to just hundreds of
little
other
kitty
Flurkins.
cats.
And there's a scene in it where all the escape pods have been shut down. They have no way of getting off of the spaceship, and Nick Fury comes together with a brilliant idea that everyone should get eaten by a Flurkin.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where they say out there on the tannoy, it's like, don't run from the Flurkins, let them eat you. You will be fine. And it's just like a little horror movie of like people running away and like the superheroes making them get eaten and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed it. And then I really loved that scene. I thought it was incredible. And there's a bit towards the end. After this, they're on this one of the last ships they've got with all the cats, and they start spiraling out of control, and all the cats start throwing people up. And I thought it was really fun. The comedy, I thought the comedy element was really good.
Yeah, they did do it well. Now, I think one thing we have to talk about here is the post-credit scene.
We do need to talk about the post-credit scene.
If you listen to last week's episode and you listen to the potential spoilers, we got a big scoop from someone that we trust within the industry, to tell us the truth, who remained anonymous, and this scoop turned out to be true. That is, of course, that in the post-credit scene, we see that Monica Rambeau has survived her trip in the alternate dimension, and this dimension is inhabited by Beast from the X-Men.
It is.
And her mother.
And we see the little X-Men sign.
We do. We see the X-Men sign. We hear a reference to Charles Xavier.
Yes, we do.
So probably not the same universe as Multiverse of Madness.
No, we don't see him or anything. We just see Beast. He's the only X-Men we see.
Yeah, Beast and her mother.
But first X-Men in the MCU.
Yeah.
So
Multiverse of Madness.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Second X-Men in the MCU.
Second X-Men in the MCU. There's going to be more, isn't there? There's going to be more that we've missed.
Yeah, I'm sure Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver have both been X-Men at certain times.
Well, isn't Miss Marvel, isn't she a mutant?
Yes, I think she is. Fifth X-Men in the MCU. But it looks great. The voice of Kelsey Grammer.
Now, I don't think it looks as good as the OG Beast.
No. I think the previous one was a costume, whereas I think this one is purely CGI.
Don't like it.
No, I'm a big fan of practical effects, always, especially when it comes to costumes.
I want a costume.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to whatever this goes with. Like, it just feels like, again, this might just be another nostalgia bait, where it's, look, this is another universe, but it's not. Is this going to be the X-Men we get? Are we going to get X-Men as part of the MCU, but they're not in the universe we're in? Is it going to be...
I hope not. I want them to be in universe.
Yeah, I'd like that. Because then it just saves them from just doing old stories again and again and again, and bringing in different things.
I think we're probably going to see this universe in Secret Wars.
That's what it feels like. Like we were talking about, like, things that we're not sure where it's going to go and what's the end game here. I think very much, instead of it being Kang has been the end game, it feels very much so that Secret Wars is the big one that they're trying to peddle.
I think it's probably going to change 4 or 5 times between now and when Secret Wars eventually, if it comes out.
But there just seems to be more and more rumours over Secret Wars than there is Kang.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm starting to think there's Secret Wars. I think the one I am looking forward to Secret Wars, and I think I'm looking forward to this more than I am Kang. But I think that's just because we've had more teasers towards this than...
Yeah.
I mean, we have had teasers. We know what's going to happen with Kang in universe, but we don't know what's happening outside of it. So we don't know if it is.
That's the thing that takes you out of it, isn't it? It's the whole of a overarching story.
That's what I mean when I was saying that the teasers. Obviously, they've teased absolutely loads to do with Kang. We've had movies to do with him. We've had TV shows to do with him. but it's just the uncertainty on the outside,
Yeah.
which just puts me more into wanting to see Secret Wars.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we touched on all that last week, so if you would like to hear what we're referencing, please do go back and listen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think on the whole, Captain Marvel, excuse me, on the whole, Miss Marvel, really, really good. Just good fun in the cinema, and some stakes, but not universe-ending stakes, which again I like in just regular comic book movies.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan, and I'll definitely be rewatching when it comes to streaming.
Yeah, I will as well, actually, to be fair.
Perfect. Now, should we move it on, Simo?
Oh, it's my favourite section.
Our next section, and what is that?
Between Two Droids.
Between Two Droids. Now, this section of the show, we both come armed with hot takes, either our own or some that have been given to us or that we have found on the internet. And all we do is we say our hot takes, and then just a couple of words on whether we agree or whether we disagree. Simo, do you want to go first?
I'll go first this week, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you go first.
Mine's a very simple hot take I've brought here. This is by Dr. John. This is from Reddit. And it is simply, I blame Padme.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a very simple...
Simo, I know you hate women, but I wasn't expecting this.
No, Dr. John hates women. I don't.
Wow.
I love women.
I don't know. We all heard
the
you
right
say
amount.
it. We all heard you say it, Simo.
Yeah. So his hot take is I blame women, and not women. I blame Padme.
You're really digging yourself a hole on this one. Ooh.
Basically, I don't think he's wrong. Like, if you watch those prequel movies, he literally he's a kid in the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, he ends up falling in love with her. Grooming.
Yeah, she's significantly older.
She's in like a position of power, and he's a slave.
Yeah.
And then in the second movie, he openly admits that he's just massacred.
Yeah.
Not just the men,
but
the women and the children too. And she's like, "Damn, you're hot."
Yeah.
Which he literally becomes in the next.
Yeah.
But
Says, I slaughtered them like animals.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean,
let's get married.
She should have gone to the council and been like,
"Damn it, I'm in."
She'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's all you had to say, son."
Yeah.
You could have stopped at children. Yeah. And,
Pause.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, sorry, I'll get you in a second. Yeah, I think she should have just gone to the council really and been like, "Hey Yoda, bit concerned about your little emo Jedi you got protecting me." Like, why? It's like, he's just killed.
One, you asked him to protect me.
Oh yeah.
And he just peeled off and went on his own little side quest.
Yeah.
Then came back and
it killed a whole village.
A whole group of people.
Yeah.
Racially motivated as well.
Yes, was race. Yeah.
Refers to them as them, which isn't something I agree with personally.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think she's solely to blame, but I think she definitely shares
one of the problems.
At least 33% of the blame.
It's literally like, just tell someone.
Yeah.
Like, do they not have a prevent program in the Star Wars universe?
Yeah, there really should be if there isn't one.
Well, yeah. What do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I agree partially.
I don't know the context behind the rest of his comments.
Yeah.
But it was literally just, I blame Padme.
I don't think she's blameless, but I don't think she's fully to blame.
Yeah.
She
does get killed by Anakin, so I guess it's a bit victim blaming, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe she was scared of him.
Yeah, I'm sure she was.
We didn't see any of that on screen, so...
No.
Until the last bit where she's like, "You're scaring me."
Well, if it doesn't happen on screen...
Anakin, you're scaring me.
Well, anyway, my hot take this week. Seeing as we've been talking about the Marvels, I've brought an MCU themed quote, and also following on from last week's news about the potential resurrection of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
Yeah.
I also took to Reddit, and this quote is from Carissa Sky Warrior, who says, "Iron Man 2 is the best movie in the Iron Man trilogy," and personally, I agree.
Okay, now...
It's a hot take.
It is a hot take. I don't think it's the best one in the Iron Man trilogy. Just because I love that first one.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I love the second one.
It's so good. It's so good, honestly.
Good. The opening is incredible.
I honestly feel like...
The suit up is incredible. I feel like we've put a weight off.
Yeah, there's like a whole weight up. I've been carrying this around since like 2010.
I genuinely love that movie.
Oh my, it is so good.
There's only one thing that I don't like about that movie, and that's Elon Musk.
Yeah, yeah, he has a little cameo, doesn't he? But bar that, I think it's probably one of my favourite MCU movies.
It's really
I think
fun. Like
Yeah.
anyone who says it's not,
it is
come on,
fun.
it is fun.
It's good, and like the scene where he's like making the element is really cool. Like, back in hardware mode, and he's putting his sledgehammer through the wall.
we started to get through the Avengers as well.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first. Was it the first one to like properly openly talk about like the Avengers? About obviously, I know Captain America, but like.
Well, there's the post-credit scene in Iron Man 1.
Oh yeah,
where he runs into General Ross.
Yeah.
And that's like the first hint of a
Wait,
crossover.
you can't be General Ross. That's not Harrison Ford in that movie.
Oh well, best believe it is. Maybe he's a Skrull.
Ooh.
But yeah, I just love Iron Man 2 so much.
Yeah.
I think it's incredible.
The suit up scenes are incredible.
Yeah, like the briefcase scene, and like when he drops down at the end, and like when him and Rhodey fight at the house party.
Oh,
yeah.
We forgot about that bit.
He's like swinging like a.
They've got a bit of Queen on the background.
Yeah,
as well,
and he's swinging the barbell around.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
It's so good. And he blows the watermelon up.
Yeah.
And
it's actually such a good
it's
movie.
probably the closest we get to the whole like demon in a bottle story from the comics as well,
and
with his alcoholism.
Hammer Industries.
Yeah, Justin Hammer.
So good.
That Mickey Rourke. I want my butt.
I'm on my bird.
Yeah.
I'm on my bird.
What? Is it your bird? Is it not your bird? Where do I stand here, man?
Whiplash is really cool.
Whiplash is sick.
Whiplash is really cool. I do think the last... the fact that his plan all along was just to make more Iron Man suits.
Yeah.
Really good. But my favourite bit is the start where it's...
Yeah, where he jumps out the chopper.
Yeah, he's got Shoot to Thrill on and he's just like... It's out the plane.
Also, first introduction of Black Widow.
Oh shit, yeah.
In Iron Man 2.
Oh yeah, I remember, like, Q, the Lego Batman.
Yeah, yeah. I just died in your arms tonight.
I think I just moved on from Transformers.
Yeah, yeah. That Iron Man 2 dropped.
I just gotten over Megan Fox.
Yeah, like the boxing scene. Yeah. Real ones know about the boxing scene. But no, I love Iron Man 2. Like, just look at the conversation we've just had.
Yeah, like
it is the best one, I think.
I genuinely think. Oh, right, can we go back to talk about Marvels? Because what I think I'm gonna have to say that it's shit now.
Compared to Iron Man 2.
I'm just like talking about, it's just a comic book movie. No, that's just a comic book movie.
I think we should watch Iron Man 2 after this podcast.
I agree.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, without a doubt. But yeah, that's my hot take.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I think you agree with me. Or partially agree with me.
I agree with you.
Lovely. Anyway, should we move it on to the next segment of the show?
Let's move on to the next segment.
Which is, of course, what we're watching.
What have you been watching?
So this week, I finished Loki, the season finale. We were going to discuss it today, but I think you're a couple of episodes behind, aren't you? So we'll probably discuss that in depth and what that potentially means for the MCU in next week's episode. But what a finale, by the way. I think personally, season 2 of Loki's been better than season 1 of Loki. But we'll get into that next week anyway. Yeah. Like I said, we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
I also watched the second episode of Invincible. It was incredible. Such a good episode.
I've not read the comics, but I think I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna.
It's such a good episode. It was a proper it felt like an episode out of season 1 sort of thing. And there's some cool storylines that they're building as well. And then I also rewatched after last week when you mentioned the Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I went back and watched Spider-Man 1 and had a great time.
Incredible.
Yeah, incredible.
I can't get over how good they are.
Yeah. What about you?
So this is a movie I watched last night. It's not a comic book or anything like that. It's a throwback. But I just thought, we have some American listeners. It's getting close to Thanksgiving, I think.
Yeah. It is this time of year, isn't it?
I watched a Thanksgiving movie. now this movie, I watched Planes, Trains and Automobiles. It's got John Candy and
classic.
Steve Martin in it. It's even got Kevin Bacon in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's a scene where Steve Martin and Kevin Bacon like race each other down the street trying to get a taxi. It's quite good. But if you've ever watched the movie Due Date,
Oh, with
Zach Galifianakis and
Yeah,
RDJ.
is it- yes, yeah.
It's that movie,
Yeah.
but it's in the 80s.
Nice.
And it's
And
really
probably
good.
better, I imagine.
I actually I don't know. Actually, they're both good. But there's only one problem with this one. The product placement in it is fucking dreadful.
Really?
There's a bit in it where they get to a motel and they're like, oh, damn, I've got no money with me. It's like, do you take credit cards? And he's like, hell yeah, we take credit cards.
Yeah.
And he whacks down like this platinum card.
Yeah.
And you literally you see him place it into like the old style card readers.
Yeah.
So you place it down and it pans onto it for like 10 seconds.
Oh god.
And he goes, oh yeah, I can't go anywhere without my American Express card. Like, something like that. And it's like that for the entire movie.
Really on the
Like,
nose.
there'd be like really funny jokes, and then it would just be like, whew, I'm sure glad for American Airlines. It's just like random stuff. Like, there's literally a scene in it was like, I don't go anywhere without this card. And then they sat there like, what kind of plastic you got on you? When they realise that they have like got nothing left.
Yeah.
And he starts talking about these like very niche shops in America.
Right.
And he's like, but that's not going to do any good here. Just if I was in Midwest Man or wherever, and it's like, then I can get some great discounts. like what we've done in our episode for the these beautiful hats where you know,
The kindly given to us by the guys over at Who Clothing.
Really. We've had them on all day actually.
Yeah.
We've been repping them even
It's so-
while I was at the cinema.
You're so comfy.
Yeah,
It just
they're
feels
very
like
nice.
you're wearing nothing.
Or a hat.
No, nothing. What else have you been watching?
I've actually been listening to something this week.
Whoa.
Now, this is the first time we spoke about anything we've listened to.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how people are going to respond, but I'm going to say it 'cause it's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I've been listening to Zach Bryan by Zach Bryan.
Oh, what an album.
So the album's incredible anyway,
So good.
as all of you should know.
Yeah.
But I went and bought the vinyl. I went and coughed up my hard-earned cash
Yeah.
and probably paid way too much for the vinyl.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I put that on and I had an absolute great time just listening to that.
I think it's album of the year for me.
Yeah,
I think
it's gotta be.
Brilliant.
If you've not listened to any Zach Bryan, go and do it.
Give him a go.
Yeah,
It's a personal recommendation
yeah, definitely.
from the boys at the Two
Yeah.
Droids podcast.
And then that's actually what I've been doing this week. I've been busy with Cold and playing Spider-Man 2, which I've mentioned every.
Yeah.
I've mentioned loads.
Well, if that's it, should we move on to the next segment?
Yeah, and
And-
we've got something for the next segment.
The next segment, as always, is some questions asked. And Simo, I believe that you have
I have
a question
from
from a listener.
a listener. A listener sent in a question. And basically, I'm going to read that question out to you now. So this is coming from Sam Henderson.
Thanks for your question, Sam.
Thank you. So this is what it says. Hi guys, big fan Sam here. You know.
Wow.
I just wanted to know your thoughts on the impact of the return of the OG Fortnite Battle Royale
Wow.
had on consumers, and why do you think it has done so well? So his question here, we've got several questions inside the question.
Well, to answer that first bit, nostalgia, baby.
Yeah, the same as what Hollywood's been doing for the last 20 years.
Yep.
So nostalgia, baby. Hang on. The next bit of that question is: do you think this is purely nostalgia, or is the game in a better state? And do you think this works in a similar way in the movie industry? We have seen so many video games relaunch, remaster, and gone on to do so well. Do you think this could be a problem with films? For example, if old Star Wars films were remastered, would they would they see a similar culture impact? Now, Sam, this is Sam from Worksop, so he's even told us where he's from there.
Wow.
Now, I just want to just quickly get into this.
Mm.
I just want to touch on the movie stuff.
Yeah.
Hollywood, I'm going to say that I've been doing remakes since before games were doing remakes.
Yes.
This isn't something new. It happened with plays. It's happened with theatre productions. It just moves its way into new mediums, and it will continue to do it. Songs. There've been remakes of songs. Now you mentioned Star Wars. Star Wars has been remastered quite a few times.
Yeah.
And it
Not
is,
always for the better.
Yeah, and a lot of people. I mean, one of the most famous bits of that is who shot first,
Yeah.
Han or Greedo. Han, but now both of them shoot at the same time.
Yeah.
Or Greedo shoots first, or whatever it is. But yeah, no, that's happened quite a lot. And talking about Fortnite, I do think it's nostalgia. I don't think it's the game being any better than what it was. But then again, if they've done that and I've played some of the new one.
Yeah.
We both played it last night.
Yeah. We had 3 back-to-back victory royales.
We did.
Bet you haven't had 3 back-to-back victory royales.
Yeah, because you'll play all shit and we're
Yeah.
good. This is your first time playing it as well, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I never played the original.
And to be fair, really good. I'm enjoying playing it. I'm enjoying the old map, having the OG map back. And I think I guess it probably does make it a better state. If people are enjoying it more and it's getting more and more people on it. I mean, the game, you had to queue the other day to get onto the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's how many people have been playing it. So sure, I guess it does mean that the game's in a better state. But yeah, movies, it's quite frustrating with movies. Cause
yeah, I think the point you said about how movies have been doing it much longer than games is a fantastic point. I think if there's an IP that's strong and is continually strong, they'll continue to do it. I've just pulled up here just a list of a couple of upcoming, or some of these are already out, movies that are remakes and reboots. So this is between 2018 and 2022. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah.
They've done countless ones of those. A Star is Born. This is the 3rd version. Pet Sematary. We've had some of those. The Crow is for 2024. Dirty Dancing. They're doing another one of those. How many Spider-Men have we had? How many Batmen have we had?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and
I mean, Star Wars, we've literally had prequels, sequels. I mean, I guess they're not remastered, but we.
Yeah, and I think as long as the IP is strong, and the fans are there and the fans are willing to support it, and the new adaptation is good, then I don't have a problem with it. The only time I have a problem is when it's sort of milking an IP just to get whatever they can out of it. But we both really appreciate your question.
Thank you for sending it in.
Yeah, hope we've answered it to a satisfying degree.
Yeah. If you want to let us know if you've got any more feedback on it, send us a message or something.
Yeah, and if you'd like to ask us a question, stay tuned to the end and you'll find out where.
You will.
Now, on to the final section of the show. We have some reviews. However, this week we're not actually going to be reading a review out. Instead, we are going to be announcing the winner of the giveaway. So we put all the reviews onto a little random spin wheel online, and the winner is. Can I get a drum roll, please? Taj, congratulations, Taj. You have won the £20 or equivalent currency cinema voucher for a cinema of your choice. If you could please drop us a message on Twitter and just confirm it is you, and we will fire that across to you this week. And
just in case any other Tages message us trying to take the thing, we know who it is.
Yeah.
We know their tag. We can check it.
It will be verified. But if you would like to be in a chance of winning a future competition or giveaway, make sure that you leave a written review on the podcast catcher of your choice, not just a star rating. It is so easy to do. You can do it in app. Write us a few words. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. And it is all greatly appreciated. Yeah, it is. So I think that's the show. I think that's the show. That is the show. So if you want to catch us on anything, if you want to send us any messages, if you want to send us any hot takes, if you want to let us know what you've been watching, what you've been doing, if there's anything you want us to talk about, send that through to our email, which is 2droidspod@gmail.com. That's the number 2, droidspod@gmail.com. On Twitter, YouTube, we're at 2droidspod. On Reddit, we're at 2droidspod. Pretty much everywhere we're 2droidspod, except for our email, where we are 2droids podcast. Podcast. That's it. That's the one. 2droids podcast. I completely said that wrong. Yeah. And then redo that outro. But yeah, reach out to us. Let us know. Let us know what you're thinking. Of course, thank you for listening. Thank you for following, subscribing, downloading. It's all greatly appreciated. Yeah. Tell your friends. Yeah, tell your friends. Let them know. And of course, a big thank you to the sponsor of this episode, which is Who Clothing, which you can find on their website at www.whoclothing.com or on social medias at Who Official Clothing. We appreciate it. Bye.